we are about 11. So good. I just find that 42 of you are agreeing. Okay, yeah, like, so we are like now. So if you have anything to ask me, stop me in between, you just type to Chinmay or Tarun, okay, Tarun Chinmay. And he will type on a window here and it comes. So it's one step communication away. So so Chinmay is between you and me. Right. So this webinar is basically to talk about what is in store in computer science and engineering. Many of us, including me and you, of course, are looking for a career in computer science. I have another 2 more decades to survive. Talking, preaching, computer science. And you guys have another 4 more decades, at least if you want to retire. Basically, to talk about, you have to all talk computer science, relevant computer science. Any of us, including me, all of you are computer science students. So, Tarun, can you confirm they are students? Talking, preaching, why you are a science student? And you guys are another 7 more decades, at least. Okay, good. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me? Just type. Okay. Are the others able to hear me? The remaining 41? Is Susan away? So, can Susan just call me? So that please ask her to call me on my mobile. I don't have a mobile number. Actually, when she's watching the video, she should call me. If she is hearing me.
Ma'am, he wants you to call him. No, he wants you to call him on his phone.
Maybe she doesn't have my mobile number. Yeah, she's calling. Hello? Hello? Susan, are you able to hear me? Okay. Yeah, if you have any issue, like if you have some problem, you just call me so that because Tarun may not know the problem on your end. Yeah. Okay. So we are talking about very long careers in computer science, whether you are in academia, or in research, or you are in industry. So let me start talking of some history. I am also a history senior like you. I started my computer science in 1985 to 89. And I did my BE in computer science at SVCE.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
at least we have seen now, I have seen 30 years, almost 30 years in computer science. what is in store for the next 30 or 40 years. And where are we leading? Of course, one important thing that happened in the last 30 years is that your computers have shrunk in size. So, what a huge AP advanced terminal in 1980s can do, consuming almost 1 kilowatt of power for the CPU alone. So almost every 4 computers need a generator set. From that stage, today your computing system has basically come into a mobile phone, which you can carry in your hand, and a lithium-ion battery. And if you have a reasonably old mobile phone, a lithium-ion battery can take it for a week. If you have recent phones, it's only 5 to 6 hours where we have good usage of that. Like there is one very important thing that the technology has. And thanks to Moore's law, thanks to Intel, thanks to AMD, thanks to IBM, we have all been pioneering in bringing up this processor architectures, which are very good to use, which are very effective to use. At the same time, which are also, price-wise, it is affordable to even some nominal individuals. Of course, ARM, you could also say the ARM processors. So there is one trend that has been happening. So building an architecture is like building a dam. Right? You have to fill it with water. What is the water in our case? Water in our case is the software. Now the software has basically several components. So you have operating systems. On top of operating systems, you have the system level software like your compilers, linkers, loaders, etc. And on top of that, you have the software that you write, the user level programs and packages to you, right? Now, if you look at, say, 1985 to 1995, where I did my undergraduation, post-graduation, and the PhD program, we have been much concentrating on performance. We didn't care about power. We are ready to put a nuclear substation for running a PC, no problem. But what is it that I can get as a performance? Can I solve problems fast? Right? And that was a very, very important thing. And that is, people did a lot of things in architecture. For example, the segmentation. You're on final years or are you on final year students? Yeah, mix. Okay, which year they could be? They would have finished computer organization. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So anyway, second year, if you don't know what I'm talking for next 2 or 3 minutes, don't bother. But at least just hear and keep these words so that in the class you can ask some questions. Okay. So there are also some things like segmentation, right? So okay, second years are learning architecture. So things like segmentation, virtual memory, paging, these type of concepts actually grew. The notion of cache memory came into existence. Very interesting things like branch predictors. Everything that the architecture was doing precisely was keeping the performance in mind. People are writing software, the compilers are actually optimizing those days for performance. That was one age, and a lot of scientific applications too. That's why a lot of programs exist even today. A lot of floating. And many, many things got added to the hardware, like your floating point units. Initially, when you look at 8085, one of the earliest of the Intel processor did not have a floating point unit. Then what happened? Since people are using floating point left and right, they were supporting this floating point to integer operations. The first decade of the real computer science revolution was seeing people who are doing, say, very, very high-end mathematics and physics and aerodynamics, atmospheric modeling, some amount of biology. So all these things, people were trying to use computers for speeding up scientific computation. The next 5 to 6 years saw computers in a large, big way in the application domain. For example, the Jurassic Park was an excellent example. It still remains to be an excellent example of computers, of how to use computers for animation. The entire Jurassic Park was done with their silicon graphics workstation these days. And also in many of the foreign professors, Indian teachers never do this. Many of the foreign professors, teachers, PhD students, everybody there and went to Hollywood, getting Hollywood make movies using computers. Okay? The teachers still in India will care about students. We will never will do such a mistake. We will never teach our students. This happened in the Western world. Many of them reached the university because money. Hollywood had a lot of money. They just give top schools and went to Hollywood to make movies. So, but then the day was application. And one very interesting thing that came that time was the graphics card. Okay. The graphics card, when Intel was running at say 27 to 28 stages of pipeline, the graphics card was another processor which was at least consuming twice the power of the processor, and it was running a 45, 46 stage pipeline. Since graphics had a lot of commercial value, the graphics actually became a coprocessor. The graphics was initially a software and the main processor was doing, say if you look at 1988 Meghaleshwara College of Engineering Computer Lab, if you want to draw a line, it will take 5 minutes to complete a line from one end of the console to the other end of the console. Because the processor was actually doing those computations and displaying on the screen. Now people thought that this type of a graphics performance will not be suitable for them. So what they did, they pushed the entire graphics, the software that they have written now got translated into a coprocessor, and the coprocessor was the graphics card. Then later now many of the Intel processors, AMD processors come with the graphics card built inside that. That was the next 5 to 6 years when people were looking at applications. The next 5 to 7, 8 years, say even till 2010, people started seriously looking at power. Because that was the mobile revolution, the laptop revolution, the tablet revolution. Then people were thinking of trying to carry the computers along with them. They started living with them. They can't just be separated from the office. They want to carry it everywhere. So over 10 years, people are looking at reducing the area and increasing the power. I'm sure many of you would have done digital logic course. In a digital logic course, what you learn is that there are 2 types of adders. One is called a carry ripple adder. Another is called a carry look adder. If you carefully look or if your teacher has taught you properly, you will appreciate this fact that the carry ripple adder try bits will take n amount of time. There's n stages and the carry has to propagate from the stage 0 to stage n-1. So it essentially takes n cycles or n delay. But the amount of gates required to realize the carry ripple adder is very, very less. Compared to a carry look adder, it will take long n time. If you have n bits using carry look adder, it will take long n time for you to add these. But it will take many more amount of gates, many more gates. So when you compare carry ripple adder with carry look adder, carry ripple adder is less in area. It consumes less power because there's less number of transistors, but it's very slow. But when you look at carry look adder, it takes lot more area completed a PhD, and again some tens of high hundreds of faculty members would have got promoted working on that. So such a very hard area the last decade. So first we started with speed, then we started with applications, and then we have come to next 10 years that people are looking at power and heat. The next 20 years, possibly 30 years, the thing that is going to dominate computer science, the thing that is going to dictate how architecture should be, the thing that is going to dictate how software should be written, right, is security, information security. Where is your money? Your money today is in a database. It is 32-bit feet in a database. Unless you are sort of big, your money can be fit within 32 bits. Probably the still more richest people see what in India outside. You need a 64-bit architecture. I don't think anybody can earn more than 2%. Maybe somebody will have. Right? But regardless, your money is in a 64-bit or a 32-bit integer in some database. Something goes wrong and your database gets erased from zero. You are gone. Right? So finance, the most important thing for bank to exist today, unfortunately, is money. And that money faces a major risk. It's caught in the computer science era, maintained in some database, and that database has to be extremely carefully protected. Right? I'm just giving you one example of security is important. Just even protect the database from different types of attacks. Attacks that will originate from the system, attacks that will come from the external world through the network. For you to protect this, it's not going to be a easy job. Why it is not going to be a easy job? Why all the other developments that have happened in the area of computer science and engineering? Why was it all good? Because easy, people were doing research, people were publishing papers, people were releasing hardware. But then everything that is possible. But now, why security is very critical? Fundamental reason is, in all the other three revolutions that we have seen, speed, the revolution of speed, the revolution of applications, the revolution of power and data. All these revolutions, we knew what we want. We knew what we should achieve. Our objectives were very clear. Right? Our objectives were quantifiable. I need this much amount of speed, that I could specify that speed in terms of time, seconds. I need these applications. I could specify what the input and output characteristics of each of these applications. I can go and say this is the power that I need to consume. This is the area of the chip that needs to be there. All these things were basically quantified. But what are we now? Now you say I want to make a system that I can trust. Correct? I want to make a system that is trustworthy. If you are a child, none of you are married. If you are a boyfriend or girlfriend, ask who doesn't know computer science. They ask you, hey, can I use this phone and do this transaction? Will it be safe? If you value your friendship, you can never give a good answer for this. You can never say it's safe. Because we don't have a threat model. We don't have a comprehensive threat model. We do not know how people will attack our system. We do not know in what form the attack will come. If you just look at the website, say a couple of weeks before, 1 or 2 weeks before, there was an attack on the bash shell. Bash is a shell in Unix system. I hope at least the 3rd and 4th years are using Unix systems. They are not using unfit to be a computer science. So please ask your teachers to teach you Linux. Even syllabus. Fine. Now, if you look at Unix system, we have been using bash, right? Bash is completely bash domain. They say there is a vulnerability that has come. I'm trying to read, understand its full glory of that vulnerability, saying that I would have never found out that this vulnerability could have existed. It takes a lot of time to find out such a vulnerability. And that too in a very secure operating system like this. Right? So if we don't know what the threat is, you are just exploring an unexplored domain and trying to deliver systems that will adhere to something. So what is security about? First thing is, I should tell you we can't quantify security. Security cannot be measured in some mathematical form. Security cannot be even defined. Trust or security, we can use the word interchangeably, cannot be even defined today mathematically. If you look at many mathematical definitions, for example, define a graph, define a tree, these are data structures. Define even an AND gate, that's a mathematics that you have a truth table and that's mathematics. That's Boolean algebra, that define a Boolean function. All these definitions go with some properties. Many of you would have studied discrete mathematics, you know some properties like reflexive, symmetric, transitive, context dependence, temporal engines. Reflexive, what is a reflexive relation? A is reflexively related to itself, A relates A. Now trust, if I want to relate trust, sometimes I don't even trust me. Right? Many times I don't trust myself. So trust as a relation is not reflexive. I trust you, but you may not trust me. So trust as a relation is not symmetric. I trust A trusts B, but I may not trust B. So trust as a relation is not transitive. Morning I will trust you, evening I may not trust you. So trust is transparent. It is valid only for a period of time. I will trust you on something, I will not trust you on something else. So trust is context dependent. It is not context dependent. So all these very important properties in mathematics, like reflexivity, symmetric, transitivity, context dependency, right? All these properties, temporal nature, all these properties, invariance with time invariance, all these properties that could lead to a quantifiable or a qualifiable definition of trust is lacking in trust. Ironically, our society has been running on trust. We trust the legal system, we trust so many things, we trust our parents, we trust our teachers, okay? We trust our university, correct our subscription, give us correct marks. Right? With that trust only we got right examinations. Many times we don't get it solved God's place, but we get our correct marks. Right? So we trust on so many things. The whole thing runs on trust. Finally, they will give the trust, like the Mahabharata, everybody knows, he goes and gives the trust to God. We also trust God many times. Right? Every time you write our university examination, I used to trust God alone, nothing else. Right? Even though I've done it extremely well, I don't know, finally, marks are come. So this, we all learn our social, our life and trust. Unfortunately, trust is not defined. So, why I spent 5 minutes talking about this? The next 20 years, you are going to explore some unexplored domains. And this domain is extremely different from all the challenges that we have seen in computer science in the past. All the challenges that we have seen in the past are unprecedented. The challenges that we are going to see in the next 2 to 3 days is not easy. It is not easy to solve that problem. Food building is not easy because you have a 40-year career and you can make that career extremely successful if you start outside for research purposes. So there will be, this cannot run for eternity. I'm sure current government is looking at ways by which they could enhance the electronic design manufacturing in our country. They hope they will, in the next couple of years, you will get some fabs, you will get some PCB, manufacturing houses, assembly houses. And that research in these areas can go smoothly. But that's very important. And it will happen because we don't have a future unless we start making our own electronics. Now, 5 to 6 years down the line, our electronics import would be much more than petrol. Why I can tell you a very, very simple example. Today, I want to pay any of my bills, I use my computer. I don't travel and stand in a queue to get a railway reservation. I actually even don't travel to even meetings at Delhi or Hyderabad, even America. I can do it over the video conference. I don't go to, say, for example, some bank, pay a check, or transfer money. I transfer it through the internet bank. Right? So many of the things, so I need not go, I can get my money at 12 o'clock in the night. At 12 o'clock in the night, how can I get that money? You can go to the ATM and get it. So that's electronics. And you actually see this electronics is replacing our movement. It is replacing our travel. And so if this goes on, and if you also start doing it, then your electronics input will be more than your oil. This is a very, very simple but realistic example which will justify my statement. If this goes on, unless our country has very, very serious focus agenda on electronic design manufacturing, which I am sure we will have. Sure it will have. And once that comes up, that's going to be an excellent opportunity for people who are being trained to think in it. Again, repeating the statement, electronic design manufacturing, to set it in India is an easier job when compared to what will you use it for. Are we going to use for making our own electronic products? Yes. If the indigenous attempts are not there, having this fab will again be nonsense. So there is also a lot of necessity for people to now start researching and building indigenous systems that could be manufactured right from concept to silicon. Silicon is the, for second year students, silicon is the base on which you will build hardware, electronics hardware. So if we need all these things, we basically will have a big electronics revolution happening. Unless that happens, we have to buy hardware from third party outside the country. And we will never know whether these hardware are free from malware, or they call it as Trojans. Trojans. We don't have a way for coming to this. Nowadays, we like many of these shampoo advertisements. They say you remove all the dandruff, but when finally they show through the lens, you see 1 or 2 grams per step. So even they say everything will get clear. If you look at the final note from this head to this head, of course this head has thousands or millions of dandruffs, whether it has some higher than. The weight has reduced, but you can't say this completely. Similar to security. I can never say that I am completely secure because I repeat, I don't know how I will be attacked. Unless I know how I will be attacked, I don't know how to protect myself. So my very, very strong advice to all of you, we have spent now at least say half an hour now on this chat, is that let's take all your subjects seriously, especially computer organization, computer system design, of course, yes. Take all these courses very, very seriously, understand? Go and read many books. Please do come and look at our NPTEL lectures, National Program for Technology Enhanced Learning, NPTEL. I think we have given the entire set of series very easy. I don't know whether you have used it. Arun, are you using it? NPTEL, have you heard about it? Question number 1, have you heard about it? Question number 2, if you have heard about it, are you using it? You are in which year? Yes, sir, for what? You have heard about it? You are third year, so what? Yes, sir, is for what? Have you heard about it? You are using NPTEL. Okay, what is the last lecture that you learned in NPTEL? So this semester you are not using. We are using it last semester for analysis of algorithms. Which lecture did you see? Analysis of algorithms. Which lecture did you see? Why so much delay? You don't remember? You remember my name? Excellent, sir. Yeah, so again, I want to tell you this. Just putting one earphone here and listening to a lecture will not take you anywhere. After listening to a lecture, first and foremost, treat your internet also as a real guru of austerity, like how Rama treated Vishwamitra, right? How Dronacharya was treated, etc. Right? You should basically treat them like real gurus. That means you should remember their names for eternity. Right? And then listen to those lectures and go and take this in a simple book, like Formal Reasons and Rivers. And work with the problems, work with the related problems. Working on problems with pen and pencil, not looking at solutions and understanding solutions. That's where you are making it. Please take some old calendar sheets, some pencils, slate, rubber, whatever, board, right, green board. Keep writing solutions. That's how a language skill also. It's very, very important. You are writing solutions. This is the problem statement. This is how I am arriving at the solution. These are all the way, these are all the steps involved in arriving. Many of you do not work with problems, and that's why you are tough. Tough in the sense you don't succeed in many of the competitive examinations. You start working problems, you can really address many of the competitive examinations. Okay, so today, unfortunately, once you finish your BE and go to a job, you can never even hear about security. The security is at the highest research level, and you can never hear about security. So 10 years or 15 years later, you will be only second-rate citizens. The person who knows security, with the authority in security, will rule the world. They will dictate terms to you. And you don't match that person, then you actually become a subordinate to somebody. It's a 20 years down. And that becomes extremely a non-thanksgiving situation for you. So it is very, very important. It's very, very, very important that you all we switched over to MECR in which Professor Madhav, excellent teacher. Okay, good. So it's very, very essential that you know something beyond your English knowledge. You should know what's graduate. Surely music. India, it's many teachers. The more you research you can do, and more practical in understanding also that you get. So it is very, very important that you people think about a career, an academic career, an academic, accreditation beyond your PE. And the next, a very good target for that is to get a PhD. Now is the age that people, we were the first batch. Simon, can you wait? I will answer this. Chennai Smart City and all. Chennai Smart City, I'll answer the question. Let me just tell you something much more. See, my batch was almost the first batch of computer science across the country. First or second batch. And many of my classmates, at the end of the fourth year, had an opportunity to go for a good job, also had an opportunity to do this. Many of them chose to take a job. Very few of them wanted to do the engineering. So the 10 jobs were also open. This is the age that many of them are in their middle ages. And the middle age, unfortunately, is filled with a very, very strong feeling of insecurity. The reason is as follows. The type of job that they are doing, someone who would be told, so they are at the age of 45, 50, the range. Somebody who is half their age, just graduated, can do much better than what they do now. And those half their age are taking money, salary, which is 1/10 of what these fellows take as salary. So many of them started questioning to themselves, are they relevant to the industry in which they are working? And many of them get an answer that they are not relevant. If they leave the company will survive, and most probably 100%, not even most probably 100%, to survive better, because a fellow who can half of that fellow's age with twice the agility, I don't say intelligence, twice the agility, and with almost 1/10 the way is ready to work and be more productive than the current person who has to leave. So many 45 to 50 years are now very much worried whether the job will exist or not, and that is crazy to have it at the age of 45, 50. I'm sure that if that the kid going to the +2, you get married around 25 to 30, you have a +2 or college going kid at this point in time. Probably you may have to tell your parents, may become bored, and of course your spouse. Okay, very less. So there will be a lot of family interest. Now, with that family pressure, if you are going to have a job insecurity, I think the definition of health is that. And this will happen. It's not no individual can be like unless security papers, lot of information security issues. So I can now very gladly tell you that if at all there is going to be a very interesting research problem in security, I think first it will have its relevance in India. Because we have such a complex society. We have such a complex, undefinable intelligence. And some people use this intelligence in the correct ways. In my opinion, lot more using it wrong. Correct? So, so, so it is very, very, very important that PhD, beyond the PhD, make it an academic career. At least your brain will be take recognition. Right? And if at all there are going to be security problems, it's best to do that research in India. Because India can offer you very well. look at Chennai is to get a lot more solar power. We have a lot of sunlight. Today it's burning hot, but we are not actually doing much on the solar. That's another very important agenda to make Chennai smart. So the CS students can contribute for making Chennai smart city by writing software, embedded software that will lay on the system and try and monitor certain response systems. Right? So a lot of embedded software development is necessary. I think the CS graduates have a very good needs in it. Next question. Question from Sanjeev. What are the areas in which we need to be strong to become a security expert? Operating systems, computer architecture, computer organization, compilers, and visual circuits. These are the courses that you will see from second year onwards, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth semesters. And that cross-layer understanding of all these layers can eventually make you into a security expert. Next question. Sai Subramaniam. Can you please elaborate on the effects of the bash shell bug? What are its implications? I have yet to go and study that in full. I've seen with some other deadlines in the last 2 days. I will certainly, you can have one webinar where I can make a presentation about the bash. Okay, another 3 to 4 weeks. So next month, sometime. So just notice that we will get this damn stupid, what is this? Yeah, this hangout, hanging today. Let it start working and then you get it out and in 1 month you can have the implications of this passion bug is pretty dangerous because many people today, including me, we have invested our entire belief of trust on Linux. And this bash bug exists on the Linux systems. Then we are in a very unsafe scenario. But I will talk about the bash bug. No other questions? Okay, good night. We are just midnight. Very nice to be addressing all of you. Thanks to Susan for organizing this webinar. We will have similar webinars. Thank you very much. Good night. Sure, we will have more sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. The webinar is now over. Thanks for watching.